My friends, life is not measured by the number of times we stand tall, but by the number of times we rise after falling. Every great journey begins not with certainty, but with courage, the courage to rise again, even when the world has seen us fall. When you fall, it may seem as though the world stops turning for you. The pain of failure, the sting of disappointment, and the weight of regret can make you believe that your story has reached its final chapter. But what if that fall is not the end? What if it is only the beginning of your transformation? Every fall in life carries a hidden invitation, a quiet challenge from destiny itself, asking, will you rise again? That single question separates those who give up from those who grow. Falling is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that you dared to try. To fall means you stepped forward into the unknown, that you took a chance while others stood still in fear. And when you hit the ground, it doesn't mean you failed forever. It means you have discovered a new way that doesn't work, a new lesson waiting to be learned. The truth is, no one who has achieved greatness has done so without falling. Behind every success story lies a trail of failures that shaped it. The beauty of falling is that it forces you to look within. When everything is stripped away, your plans, your pride, your comfort, what remains is your raw determination. It is in those low moments that you meet your real self. You learn what you are made of, what truly matters, and what you are willing to fight for. Failure clears the fog of illusion and brings you face to face with your own truth. It demands honesty. It demands growth. And in that moment, you realize that falling was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to rebuild you into something stronger. Many people live their lives avoiding failure. They choose safety over challenge, comfort over courage. But a life without falling is a life without rising. You cannot learn resilience without pain. You cannot understand victory without defeat. Every great mountain climber has slipped. Every artist has been rejected. Every leader has faced failure. Yet each one used the fall as a lesson, as a reason to climb again with greater wisdom. When you shift your view from seeing failure as an ending to seeing it as a new beginning, your whole life changes. Think of it like the process of planting a seed. When a seed is buried in the darkness of the soil, it may appear to have been lost, but within that darkness, transformation begins. The shell cracks, the roots dig deep, and slowly the seed rises into the light. Without that dark moment, without that breaking, there would be no growth. In the same way, your falls bury you, only so you can grow stronger roots and rise higher than before. Consider the example of a young athlete who dreams of winning a national championship. He trains every day, gives everything he has, but in the final race, he stumbles and loses. The disappointment crushes him. For a moment he believes he is not good enough, but instead of giving up, he decides to rise again. He studies his mistakes, trains harder, improves his technique, and strengthens his mind. The next season, he returns not as the same boy who fell, but as a stronger, wiser competitor. And when he finally wins, he realizes something profound. It was the fall that made the victory meaningful. Without that failure, he would never have discovered his real strength, his real discipline, his real spirit. That is the truth about falling. It is not your enemy, it is your teacher. The ground you fall upon can become the very foundation you rise from. The deeper you fall, the greater your potential to rise. What matters most is not how far you fall, but how determined you are to stand again. So when life knocks you down, remember this is not over. It's just beginning. Every fall is a rebirth, and every rise is a new version of you, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. True strength is not something that appears in moments of comfort and ease. It is not built in calm waters or soft winds. Real strength is born in the middle of struggle, when everything feels heavy, when the path seems endless, when you are tested beyond what you thought you could endure. It is in those moments of darkness and pressure that your character is forged. Without struggle, there can be no growth. Without resistance, there can be no power. Just as a sword must go through fire before it becomes sharp, the human spirit must pass through trials before it becomes unbreakable. When life is simple and predictable, we rarely discover what we are capable of. It is easy to appear strong when nothing challenges you. But the true measure of a person's strength is revealed only when life becomes difficult. Struggle strips away every illusion and exposes who we really are. It teaches patience when we want to rush, courage when we want to quit, and faith when all hope seems lost. Every difficulty you face has a purpose to build something within you that comfort never could. Pain, though hard to accept, is a necessary teacher. It shows us that endurance is not about never feeling weak. It's about feeling weak and continuing anyway. When you are going through hardship, it's natural to want the struggle to end quickly. But if you look deeper, you'll see that each challenge is preparing you for something greater. The mountain you climb today is strengthening the muscles you will need for tomorrow's summit. Every challenge, every setback, and every disappointment adds a layer of resilience that cannot be taken away. Think about how nature works. The tallest trees stand firm not because they were protected from the wind, but because they were exposed to it. Their roots grew deeper with every storm. Similarly, every storm in your life is not sent to destroy you, but to anchor you. The winds of struggle may bend you, but they will not break you if you choose to learn instead of surrender. Strength grows silently. It doesn't make noise while it is being built. You might not realize it now, but the pain you feel today is shaping the hero you will become tomorrow. Imagine a young woman who dreams of becoming a doctor. She studies day and night, but she fails her first major exam. She feels defeated, ready to give up, but something inside her refuses to surrender. Instead of walking away, she uses the failure as fuel. She studies harder, learns from her mistakes, and overcomes every doubt that once held her back. Years later, when she finally graduates, the joy she feels is deeper than if she had succeeded easily, because she knows the price she paid, the late nights, the tears, the endless effort, and she knows that her struggle built her strength. If everything had come easily, she would never have discovered how powerful she truly was. That is the essence of struggle. It transforms weakness into strength, confusion into clarity, and fear into courage. It teaches you that no matter how many times you fall, you have the power to rise again, stronger and wiser than before. Your scars, the emotional and mental marks left behind by battles you fought, are not symbols of defeat. They are symbols of survival. Each one tells the world, I went through pain, but I didn't give up. I faced storms, but I'm still standing. You should never be ashamed of your scars. They are the badges of your growth. So when life becomes difficult and you feel like giving up, remember that this is the moment where your strength is being built. Every hardship you endure, every test you pass through, every tear you wipe away, all of it is shaping the foundation of the person you are destined to become. Calm seas never made a skilled sailor. The storms you face are not punishments, they are preparation. The struggle you are in today is building the strength you will rely on tomorrow. And when the time comes, you will look back and realize that every challenge was worth it because it made you unbreakable. Believing in yourself is one of the most powerful forces on earth. It is the invisible strength that pushes you forward when everything else tells you to stop. Faith in yourself means trusting your own heart when no one else does, walking a path that no one else understands, and holding on to your vision when others only see your flaws. It's not arrogance or blind confidence. It's the quiet understanding that you were created with a purpose, and that purpose deserves to be fulfilled. When you believe in yourself, you awaken something extraordinary within. The courage to act, the resilience to endure, and the power to rise no matter how many times you fall. The world has a strange way of testing those who dream. The moment you decide to chase something greater, the noise begins, people telling you it's impossible, circumstances making you doubt, and failures whispering that maybe they're right. But faith in yourself means standing tall in that storm and saying, I will not give up on me. You do not need approval from the world to start. You need belief from within to continue. Every great achievement began with one person who refused to listen to the voices of doubt, who kept walking when everyone else turned away. Having faith in yourself is not about knowing you will succeed. It's about believing you will find a way even if you fail. It's about trusting that within you lies the ability to learn, to adapt, and to rise again. When you have this kind of belief, you become unstoppable because your strength no longer depends on circumstances or opinions. You understand that the world may not see your potential yet, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. You are a seed unseen beneath the soil, but destined to grow if you keep believing in the life that lives within you. This kind of faith requires courage. It means walking alone at times, taking risks, and making decisions that others may not understand. It means believing in your voice even when it shakes. People without faith in themselves often wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect support. But those who truly believe don't wait, they create. They know that doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Imagine a young man who dreams of becoming a musician. He lives in a small town where no one takes music seriously. When he shares his dream, people laugh. They tell him it's unrealistic, that he should find a real job. For a moment, he feels crushed. But deep down, he hears a different voice, a quiet but powerful one that says, you can. He decides to believe that voice. He starts writing songs, practicing late at night, recording with whatever little equipment he has. His first songs aren't perfect, and critics don't care, but he doesn't stop. His belief in himself keeps him moving. Years later, one of his songs goes viral. The world finally sees his talent, but by then, he doesn't need their approval anymore because he had already proven it to himself. His success didn't begin the day people believed in him. It began the day he believed in himself. That is the essence of faith. The fire inside you must burn brighter than the doubt around you. You cannot control what others think of you, but you can control what you think of yourself. If you choose to believe you are capable, you open doors that fear once locked. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, and act with quiet strength. The energy of self-belief attracts opportunity and silences doubt. So when you face moments of uncertainty, when fear tells you that you can't, remind yourself that you have already faced worse and survived. You have already overcome things you once thought would break you. That is proof enough that you are stronger than your doubts. Believe in your vision, even if no one claps for you yet. Believe in your strength, even when it trembles. Because once you master the art of faith in yourself, no failure can defeat you. It can only shape you. The world belongs to those who dare to believe before the world believes in them. There comes a moment in every person's life when personal ambition alone is not enough to keep them moving forward. There are times when the road becomes too heavy, the failures too painful, and the loneliness too loud. In those moments, what keeps you rising is not pride or ego, it is purpose. When your reason for standing up again is greater than your pain, you become unstoppable. Purpose is the fire that keeps burning when everything else fades. It gives meaning to your suffering, direction to your struggle, and strength to your spirit. When you rise for something beyond yourself, your heart finds a power far greater than your body could ever imagine. People who rise only for themselves often lose momentum when things get hard. But those who rise for something larger, for their family, their dreams, their community, or for those who have no voice, find an energy that does not run out. Purpose is the bridge between pain and victory. It transforms every fall into fuel, every wound into wisdom. When your why is strong enough, the how begins to appear. You no longer see obstacles as reasons to quit, but as challenges that prove how much your cause truly matters. Purpose gives your suffering meaning. It turns your personal fight into a mission. When you know you are fighting for something greater, to lift others, to protect those you love, to change a piece of the world, then every sacrifice becomes bearable. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? The focus shifts from your own pain to the impact you can create. And that shift changes everything. Every great life has been built upon a purpose larger than personal success. People who change the world do not rise for glory. They rise because they refuse to watch others suffer when they can help. They rise because their hearts cannot rest while there is something worth fighting for. Such people don't seek comfort. They seek contribution. They don't rise because it's easy, they rise because it's necessary. And that sense of necessity gives them a power that cannot be broken. Think of a woman who grew up in poverty, working long hours just to help her family survive. As a child, she often went to bed hungry, watching her mother struggle to provide. She could have given up on her dreams many times. School was difficult, money was scarce, and opportunities were rare. But she carried one thought in her heart: one day, I will make life better for my family. That purpose became her fuel. Every time she felt like quitting, she remembered the faces of the people she loved. She studied harder, worked longer, and refused to surrender. Years later, she built her own business and created jobs for others in her community. Her rise was not for herself, it was for those who once held her when she had nothing. That purpose gave her strength no hardship could destroy. This is what rising for a greater purpose means. It is realizing that your story is not just about you, it's about everyone who will be touched by your courage. When you rise, you inspire others to rise. Your strength becomes their hope. Your determination becomes their belief. You become a light in someone else's darkness, even if you don't realize it. And that is one of the most beautiful rewards of rising beyond yourself. You give others permission to do the same. When life knocks you down, remember who you are rising for. Maybe it's for your children who look up to you. Maybe it's for your parents who sacrificed everything for your future. Maybe it's for those who never had your chance, or for the dream that can change lives beyond your own. Whatever it is, hold it close. Let it remind you why quitting is not an option. In the end, purpose is what makes you powerful. It turns pain into progress and struggle into strength. It reminds you that you were never meant to live only for yourself. So when you fall, don't rise just to prove something to the world. Rise because someone needs you to. Rise because your dream still matters. Rise because your purpose is greater than your pain. And when you rise for something beyond yourself, no fall will ever be strong enough to keep you down. No one moves through life without falling. We all stumble, we all fail, and we all experience moments that make us question whether we can continue. But the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not the number of times they fall. It is the number of times they rise again. Every time you rise after a fall, you rewrite the story of your life. You prove that your strength is greater than your pain, that your determination is stronger than your doubt, and that defeat will never define you. Life does not measure you by your failures. It measures you by your resilience. Falling is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are human. Everyone, at some point, reaches a moment of breaking. You may fail in your career, lose someone you love, or see your dreams collapse. These moments can feel final, as if life has closed its doors on you. But that is the illusion of despair. In reality, every fall carries a lesson. Every setback holds a seed of strength, and every loss hides a new beginning. The people who reach greatness are not those who never fall, but those who rise every time they do, because rising again means you refuse to let the fall have the last word. There is power in persistence. Each time you rise, you build something inside you that cannot be taken away. A quiet courage, a deeper understanding, and an unshakable will. The first time you fall, it hurts deeply. The second time, you begin to understand. The third time, you realize that you can endure more than you thought possible. Each rise makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what lies ahead. Failure only defeats those who stop trying. Those who keep moving forward, even one small step at a time, eventually reach the summit. Life will not always reward you immediately for your efforts. Sometimes you will do everything right and still fall short. That is when rising becomes more than an act of strength. It becomes an act of faith. You rise because you believe your journey still matters. You rise because your dream is worth the pain. You rise because somewhere deep inside, you know that you are not finished yet. And when you rise with that spirit, life begins to open new doors, often in places you never expected. Imagine a boxer in the ring, knocked down again and again by a stronger opponent. The crowd grows silent. His body aches, his vision blurs, and the voice in his mind whispers, "Stay down." But then, through the exhaustion, he remembers why he began the years of training, the sacrifices, the people who believed in him. Slowly, painfully, he stands. The crowd roars, not because he is winning, but because he refuses to surrender. He may not win the match that night, but he wins something greater, the respect that comes from never giving up, and the knowledge that he cannot be broken. That moment defines him more than any victory could. That is the essence of resilience. Life will test you again and again, and it will not always be fair. But your power lies in your response. You may fall 7 times, rise 8. You may break, rebuild stronger. You may lose everything and still find the courage to begin again. The world respects the person who keeps rising, because every rise is proof of the human spirit's unyielding strength. So, when life knocks you down, don't stay there. Take a breath, gather your strength, and rise. You might be bruised, you might be tired, but you are not defeated. Each time you get up, you send a message to the universe that you will not be silenced by failure. Keep rising, not for applause, not for recognition, but because that is who you are. The will to rise again is what turns ordinary people into legends. One day, when you look back, you will realize that every time you rose after falling, you were building the unbreakable version of yourself, the one who could stand tall no matter how many times the world tried to keep you. So when life pushes you down, rise. When doubt clouds your mind, rise. When failure mocks your effort, rise.